Dan, what would you say some of the benefits of our program? Obviously, we've been doing this for many, many years. Probably since the founding of IronEdge 16 years ago, we've done corporate relocation from a technology aspect and help clients, design, do space planning even. I think the famous story I tell about myself is I helped a client make paint color choices for their new office, because if we didn't do that, the entire schedule was going to go off whack. They had to make a decision on what color the walls were going to be. They had to paint before they could put down the flooring. Everything is so interlined. And that one constraint was delaying our success. But what are some of the other benefits that IronEdge can provide in companies that are making these corporate relocations?
Well, the benefits, I think, align really well to addressing the common problems that we started off with. Those are just general problems that happen all the time. So the benefit to pulling somebody like us in that are experts in moving technology and coordinating a move overall is that when we come in and we execute our plan and we bring in all of our senior team members that are going to do this stuff, we're going to put you in the best position to not have any delays to start work. So there's a productivity benefit to that. There's also a benefit of kind of like what we've been talking about to this point, having expert project managers and an expert team come in to ask the right questions through the entire move process to make sure nothing's forgotten, to make sure that somebody didn't forget wireless access points for the new space or something. So there's a level of expertise that we bring in, which is a benefit to most companies because they don't know the right questions to ask. They don't know the timeline in the schedule that things need to happen on to be accomplished by a certain time. And then sort of wrapped up into all that, we're a single point of communication that can reach out to multiple vendors and coordinate things and ask the right questions and do all this stuff. And it takes that communication off of the moving team. It takes it out of the executive assistant's hands or the operations team's hands, and really, and it puts it on us and it allows us to do that for you. And those are really, in my experience, the key benefits, but maybe the biggest one is the productivity gain when you move into a new space and it's ready to go. And then even pre-move, having somebody like us execute all these things and coordinate all these things gives productivity back to your team.
I think we're all trying to maximize employee productivity
Exactly.
and organizational productivity. And a move is already disruptive. Right. I mean, it is highly disruptive. I mean, you got to do everything from change stationery to letterhead to notifying vendors and clients of new mailing addresses. There's a lot to it. Mm-hmm. And that's disruptive to any organization. How do we go about ensuring and maximizing productivity, Dan, on these corporate relocations? What do we bring to the table as far as IronEdge Group to really maximize the employee productivity and ensure an amazing experience?
Yeah, and all these subjects kind of interlace with each other, and we're going to talk about the same themes over and over in today's webisode. But what we do is we want our goal Monday morning is when your team walks in, that they can sit down on their desk and they can get to the internet, they can get to their mail, they can get to their files, and they can do their job, right? And so we built a process around ensuring that is tested from each individual workstation and happens. The same thing with other parts of your business that use technology. I can't tell you the number of times. I'm going to guess maybe 6 to 10 times I've executed a move with a client, and one of their requirements was the conference room technology has to be up and working in the new space on the first or second day. If that's not planned for and executed in a very exacting manner, that can be a real problem when you have a board. I can remember a very specific time in Austin, Ryan, where we did a managed move and there was a board meeting in the new space on that Monday. And I bet you remember that too. But that's, if you're not taking into account the technology considerations to make that stuff happen in the new space on day 1 or 2, that can be a massive loss of productivity for some very important resources that have come to the board meeting.
Now, the best part about that, if I recall correctly, is we found out about it 3 days before the weekend. So on Wednesday, they're like, hey, by the way, Monday in the new space, the board's going to be there for a big meeting. And I think we both looked at each other and said, well, this is going to be a fun weekend. Rut-row. And that was a long Sunday night, if I recall, just testing everything, making sure it was ready to go, because the board was showing up at 8 a.m. to tour the new space and be all excited. I'm like, okay, well, that's why we have caffeine. We'll figure this out. That's why we're here. We made it happen. We got it done. We had the vendors all lined up and everybody pivoted and made it work.
Right.
But I think that brings up a really good point of ensuring you have your ducks in a row in the beginning. And that all starts with a proper discovery, that in, very intensive conversation with the client, make sure we're doing that business needs assessment. What are you trying to get out of this move? And truly, the earliest we get involved, the better. Or the earlier we get involved, the better. Because if we know where you're going before you even start space planning, we can really add a ton of value.